Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah, and I'm working in the National Heart and Lung Institute. And in the next 5 minutes or so, I want to tell you a little bit about my project that I'm working on in the lab. So I'm going to start out with a fact. Did you know there's 100 million cells inside your body? It's quite an unfathomable number. But the most amazing thing is that we started out life as one single cell. So after fertilization, when a sperm cell fused with an egg cell, this one cell divided, and then those cells divided, and then those cells divided, and then those cells divided. And very, very quickly, cells multiplied in number to produce all the cells needed for all the organs and all the tissues in the body. Now imagine if I was to ask you to write me 100 emails, each one page long, and I gave you the next 5 minutes to do it in. I don't know about you, but I know I'd make some mistakes. There'd definitely be a few typos in there. Well, it's exactly the same for cells. Cells are reproducing so quickly that they make mistakes as they go along. But these are the cells in the very early embryo that are going to be contributing to the rest of the body. So it's really important that none of these cells have mistakes, and that it's only the healthiest cells that are allowed to carry on dividing. It's a bit like if you have a loaf of bread and the top slice is moldy. If you get rid of that moldy top slice, then the rest of the bread will keep for longer. But if you let it stay with the loaf of bread, then the mold will spread to the rest of the loaf. So luckily, your bodies have a very clever mechanism which makes sure that the cells that have mistakes in them are killed, and so that only the healthy cells can carry on dividing. And this is in a process called cell competition. So you might think of your cells happily and peacefully cooperating with each other to fulfill all their functions in the body. But actually, development is a battlefield where cells go head to head for survival. So cell competition is a fundamental and essential part of life, but not much is actually known about the actual ways cells communicate to kill the bad cells and to let the happy cells, the healthy cells live. But there are a couple of theories, so I'm going to go through two of them. So the first one, is that we have a healthy cell with a happy face and an unhealthy cell with an unhappy face. And one theory is that these cells are competing with each other for a limited amount of food in their surroundings. And there's only enough food for one of the cells, and because the healthy cell is the more healthy one, the food goes to him, while the unhealthy cell stays hungry and he ends up dying. So this is a bit like situations we see quite a lot in the wild, where animals might be competing with each other for food. So say you have two lions and they're both competing for one zebra. The bigger, healthier, stronger lion is going to catch the zebra, whereas the weaker, smaller, slower lion will end up hungry and might die. So that's one of the options. Another possibility is that cells can actually recognize how healthy other cells are. So it might be something like unhealthy cells have spots on them, and so that healthy cells can recognize these unhealthy cells and cause them to die that way. So this is a bit like in a production line of a factory, where a factory might be producing hundreds of T-shirts every day. And there'll be a step to make sure that all the T-shirts that have missing buttons or that have broken seams are thrown away before they get to the shop. So this is what I'm working on in the lab, and what other people in my lab are working on trying to look at how cells are competing with each other. So far I've only talked about cell competition in development, but actually cell competition might be much more widespread. In fact, it might be happening in your bodies right now. So cells, as they get old or as they go through life, they can get damaged and become dangerous to the body. So they might start to cause cancer or something. So cell competition might be happening to make sure that these damaged cells are killed before they can carry on growing and before they might be able to start to cause cancer in your body. So the next time you're cheering on your team at the World Cup, maybe tonight, or the next time you're cheering on your favourite tennis player at Wimbledon, spare a thought for the cell gladiators inside your bodies, fighting day after day, night after night, to kill or to be killed, all for your benefit, to make sure you become and stay your healthiest. May the fight go on. Thank you for listening.